Thank you for listening. This course was created to help you succeed in your educational journey. Learn more at baremetalcyber.com, where additional podcasts, books, newsletters, and cool merchandise await. Let's get started. This first episode opens with a simple but important purpose: to orient you to what the PrepCast is, how it works, and why it exists. Think of this series as an audio-first learning tool designed to bring complex ideas about responsible artificial intelligence into a form you can absorb while commuting, exercising, or simply taking a walk. The guiding theme throughout is responsibility, how we design, govern, and deploy artificial intelligence in ways that align with human values, organizational trust, and public expectations. Unlike a certification course that marches toward an exam, this series is about practical knowledge you can use regardless of your role. Each episode is a carefully built block, contributing to a foundation that supports more advanced insights as you progress. By the end of this journey, you should feel more confident in both understanding and applying the principles of responsible AI in real-world contexts. Who, then, is this series for? The answer is broad but deliberate. Beginners who have heard of artificial intelligence but feel daunted by its complexity will find a welcoming entry point here. Career changers, whether coming from business, policy, or another technical domain, will encounter explanations designed to be approachable without watering down important details. Students, at university or in professional development programs, will discover content that connects theory to practice. Practitioners already engaged in technology, risk, governance, or leadership will gain a structured framework to anchor their work. The PrepCast recognizes that responsible AI is not the exclusive concern of data scientists. It belongs equally to project managers, lawyers, compliance officers, ethicists, educators, and executives. Its accessibility is intentional because the challenges of AI responsibility are diverse, and so must be the people tackling them. Because this is an audio-only program, you should expect a style tuned for listening rather than reading. There will be no slides, diagrams, or charts to distract from the voice in your ear. Instead, clarity will come from carefully structured prose, where ideas are explained step by step and analogies are used to make abstract notions concrete. Imagine it like listening to a well-told story, where each chapter flows into the next. This approach allows you to engage without needing to sit at a desk. Many learners find that ideas explained this way become more memorable, precisely because the delivery is uninterrupted by visual clutter. Whether you listen during your commute, while preparing dinner, or as background during light exercise, the design ensures that you can learn effectively without looking at a screen. Why this focus and why now? Artificial intelligence is no longer experimental. It is embedded in daily tools, business processes, and public services. With this ubiquity comes heightened accountability. Regulators worldwide are pressing for transparency, fairness, and accountability. Media headlines point to failures, from biased algorithms to unsafe deployments, that erode public trust. Organizations face pressure not only from watchdogs but also from customers and employees demanding responsible conduct. The urgency is unmistakable. Responsibility is no longer optional, it is expected. By engaging in this PrepCast, you are positioning yourself not just to understand these dynamics, but to actively respond to them in ways that enhance both your professional credibility and your organization's resilience. How you listen will shape how much value you gain. Unlike a book that you can skim or a lecture you might half-watch, audio learning rewards steady attention, even if only in short bursts. One effective strategy is to pace yourself across weeks or modules, treating each episode as a self-contained session. Pausing at natural breaks to reflect on a key point can be more powerful than rushing through. Revisiting an earlier episode after tackling a more advanced one often reveals new layers of meaning, as ideas build upon one another in subtle ways. Think of it like learning a language. Repetition, spacing, and reflection deepen retention. By layering concepts gradually, you'll find that the material not only informs, but also becomes part of how you think and talk about artificial intelligence responsibility in your work and life. It is important to remember that you are not alone on this journey. Responsible AI is a global dialogue involving technologists, policymakers, business leaders, and everyday citizens. By engaging with this material, you join a community of learners, professionals, and advocates working towards safer, fairer systems. Peer exchange can be a powerful amplifier. Discussing insights with colleagues, classmates, or online communities helps cement learning while exposing you to different perspectives. Each stakeholder brings a distinct lens. Engineers focus on system design, regulators on compliance, ethicists on moral reasoning, and users on lived experience. When these voices converge, responsible AI becomes not just a technical pursuit, but a collaborative, cross-disciplinary project with tangible social impact. Along the way, you may encounter challenges. Responsible AI is full of contested definitions, overlapping principles, and ambiguous trade-offs. For instance, fairness can mean different things depending on whether you prioritize group equity or individual treatment. Safety measures can clash with privacy protections. Oversimplifying these dilemmas risks missing their richness, while overcomplicating them can paralyze action. Patience is required, both with the subject matter and with yourself as a learner. Accept that ambiguity is part of the terrain. Over time, exposure to case studies and frameworks will help you build comfort in navigating complexity. The important thing is persistence. Responsibility is not mastered in a single sitting, but cultivated gradually, with practice and reflection guiding the way. For more cyber-related content and books, please check out cyberauthor.me. Also, there are other PrepCasts on cybersecurity and more at baremetalcyber.com. Artificial intelligence is not a static field. It is evolving at a remarkable pace. Just in the past few years, generative models have shifted from experimental novelties to tools embedded in workplaces, schools, and personal lives. This rapid advancement brings opportunities but also challenges, as systems once thought of as limited now demonstrate unexpected capabilities. Around the world, regulators are struggling to keep pace, debating laws and guidelines that vary by country and region. At the same time, organizations are grappling with new risks, such as model outputs that scale misinformation or automate biased decisions. In such a dynamic environment, continuous learning is essential. What you hear in these episodes will remain relevant, but its application must adapt as technologies change. This series encourages you to maintain curiosity, treating responsible AI as a journey rather than a fixed destination, one that requires ongoing engagement with fresh developments. It is also important to recognize that responsibility extends far beyond technology itself. While algorithms and models may be the visible artifacts, the forces shaping them are cultural, social, and economic. Organizational values determine whether transparency is embraced or resisted. Leadership decisions influence how much investment goes into ethics, security, or compliance. Communities feel the impact of systems that distribute resources, shape opportunities, or define access to information. In that sense, responsibility is not simply about engineering safe code, but about embedding accountability into organizational strategy. By examining these broader contexts, the PrepCast helps you see artificial intelligence as both a technical system and a social actor, one that reflects and reinforces the choices of those who build and deploy it. Engagement is sustained not by force, but by habit. Making listening part of your weekly rhythm can turn learning into a reliable pattern, one that slowly builds cumulative depth. Linking what you hear to current events can sharpen relevance, as the news often provides live case studies of responsible or irresponsible AI in action. Spacing episodes rather than binging them allows time for ideas to settle, much like letting soil rest before planting again. Iterative exposure reinforces retention. Each return to a topic builds strength, much like exercising a muscle. The PrepCast is designed for longevity in your routine, encouraging you to keep returning without fatigue. Responsibility in AI is not a one-time lesson but an evolving mindset, and sustained engagement is the way to make it part of your professional identity. Responsible AI is also a form of future-proofing. Technologies will continue to evolve, with new models, architectures, and applications emerging regularly. Specific tools may fade, but the principles of accountability, fairness, and transparency remain durable. By internalizing these values, you equip yourself to adapt, no matter what the next wave of innovation looks like. Lifelong learning is often spoken of in broad terms, but here it has concrete meaning. Skills in responsible AI. I ensure resilience in your career, safeguarding your relevance as organizations and societies demand accountability. The ability to adapt responsibly is not just a technical advantage, but a professional safeguard, keeping you aligned with both evolving technology and evolving expectations. With that, you are invited to continue into the first content module, where we begin unpacking the ideas and practices that define responsible artificial intelligence today. This journey is about building knowledge step by step, while also preparing you to act responsibly in your professional and organizational life. Whether you listen once or return many times, whether you take notes or simply reflect, the series is here as a guide and companion. By engaging fully, you are taking part in a growing movement that values accountability, fairness, and transparency in technology. Welcome to the PrepCast. Your learning journey starts here, and each step will matter. Thanks for tuning in to Bare Metal Cyber, your trusted source for cybersecurity educational materials, news, and insights. Remember to subscribe at baremetalcyber.com so you never miss an update. And visit cyberauthor.me for best-selling cybersecurity books that equip you with expert knowledge. Until next time, stay secure and stay vigilant.